All right, guys, we're going to rock and roll here very shortly on the show. Happy Halloween to everyone in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. Let's hope this rains holds out. My family will be trick-or-treating in eastern Albemarle County. Yours truly will be Robin, and I'm decked out as Robin. If you did not watch us on Real Talk with Batman this morning, you missed Batman, Robin, Alfred, and Captain America. Today it's Robin and Alfred on the program. This evening you will see Robin and Spider-Man. Spider-Man is about 3 foot 6 inches tall and weighs about 47 pounds this evening, and I can't wait to see him jumping from house to house on a sugar high as Batwoman is chasing after Robin and a tiny Spider-Man down the street. A lot we're going to cover on today's show. We have news for you on the downtown mall murderer. That topic on today's program. Positive news. We have unfortunate news from Little Star. Little Star, a restaurant of talented proportions. News we will relay to you. We're going to wonder about the Albemarle County School Board and the opening that it has on the school board with David Oberg's resignation. A lot we're going to cover on today's show, including the Virginia football team just absolutely wetting the bed on Saturday against the Miami Hurricanes, an opportunity for Virginia football to get a critical victory at home, a 4-overtime loss for the Wahoos. A lot we're going to cover on the show. Give it a like, give it a share, hammer the like button. We work hard for you. The only thing we ask in return is a like and share of the show from you, the viewer and listener, live on every social media platform known to mankind. J-Dubs, we got those headers in there, or Alfred, excuse me. Alfred, you're doing a great job today. Thank you, Alfred, for always crushing it on the Batman and Robin and Alfred. They're not Marvel. They are
DC.
Oh, yeah, DC. Thank you. You know considerably more about this than I do. Alfred, get ready to rock and roll today, my friend. It's going to be a good one. Awesome. Questions already coming in. Katie Pearl, Philip Dow, hello. KTP, you are good people. Philip Dow, King of Scottsville, you are good people. Katie Pearl, I think we need to give you a new moniker. In fact, Katie Pearl, how about a moniker of the Queen of Whitehall? The Queen of Whitehall. For you, Katie Pearl. Does that fit? Are you welcoming of that moniker? Gwendolyn Gale Cassidy, the Queen of Travels, the Queen of Cosmopolitan. Bonjour from Morocco. And have an awesome Halloween. Morocco's in the house. Gwendolyn Gale Cassidy, a smart lady watching the program in Morocco. All right, J-Dubs. Scott Airworth, the King of Virginia Beach, welcome to the show. Scott Airworth, congratulations on that victory in court this past week. Job well done for the King of Virginia Beach. J-Dubs, we can rock and roll when you are ready.
Quiet on the set.
Guys, good Monday afternoon. Welcome to the I Love Seville show, and thank you kindly for joining us. Our audience, Charlottesville, Central Virginia, Commonwealth country, and worldwide, here on a happy Halloween from downtown Charlottesville. Jerry Miller is on hiatus. Robin, your host today. Alfred, your co-host, you'll see in a matter of moments. And Bat Dog is right around the corner. Yes, Bat Dog may have the best eyes on this set. Frankly speaking, I can't see a damn thing with what I'm wearing right now, but I do have positive news, and quite a bit of positive news from downtown Charlottesville. The murderer who killed someone in Lucky Blues on the downtown mall 2 weekends ago has been arrested. This gentleman, I'm not even going to use the word gentleman, this culprit, this murderer on the lam in Tennessee. He's from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll read the press release to you. The Charlottesville Police Department has indicated that arrest in connection with the fatal shooting on the downtown mall has now happened. The fatal shooting happened in Lucky Blues. Two people were involved in an altercation. One of them was murdered. Devon J. Wilson was murdered. He was pronounced dead at the University of Virginia Health System. He's a father, was a father. The person who did the killing, Marcel Durrell Washington, was arrested while on the run in Tennessee. He is currently being extradited to Virginia. He does not have an appearance yet for court in Charlottesville court. Warrants for Washington were issued on October 25th, and the Charlottesville Police Department, in conjunction with the U.S. Marshal Service, located him and tracked him down. This is absolutely positive news. Charlottesville Police Department, the U.S. Marshals, a job well done. An arrest happened quickly. I am eager to announce this news on our platform, as there was some trepidation about safety in downtown Charlottesville. I am also eager to relay positivity to you. My family experienced firsthand on Saturday. My wonderful wife, 8.5 months pregnant, and our son, a slight but full of fight, 4.5-year-old who's about 3.5 feet tall, dressed as Spider-Man, enjoyed a fantastic outing on the downtown mall on Saturday afternoon, where we hopped from restaurant and retailer and music venue, hopped around the mall trick-or-treating. It was safe, it was positive, it was well attended. There was a bounce house in the pavilion. There were games and crafts and things to do for kids and families on the Ting Pavilion. And it was just an awesome outing that was 100% family friendly and 100% safe. Good news if you're just tuning into the program and hearing this for the first time, and I believe many of you are. Janice Boyce Trevelyan, welcome to the show. We love when you watch the program. JBT, the murderer from 2 weekends ago, the man who committed murder allegedly on the downtown mall, is now under custody. Charlottesville Police Department, in conjunction with the U.S. Marshals, arrested the man while he was on the lam, running, hiding from the police in Tennessee. This is positive news for Charlottesville, Virginia, and certainly downtown Charlottesville. I could not be happier about this. I want to seek justice. I hope justice is pursued to the fullest extent of the law. I think maybe this isn't even the best phrase, making an example, I don't think that is the best phrase, but utilizing the law to its fullest extent is paramount. This was, and I'm going to use the word allegedly, although I've talked to many witnesses about this. This was a murder of violent proportions, one done without hiding someone's identity, one done in a visible setting, one with collateral damage. 2 additional women were caught in the crossfire. They were struck by stray bullets, sent to the hospital. They are recovering, but still, no one's meal, no one's drinks, no one's night out should be interrupted by stray bullets and stray gunfire. Charlottesville Police Department worked in conjunction with the U.S. Marshal Service to track a man into Tennessee. He is currently being extradited to the Commonwealth. We will follow this closely. This is great news for Charlottesville, for Central Virginia, and yet another reason why I stand by men and women in blue and support law officers and police in Central Virginia. We're talking about something that happened roughly 8-9 days ago, and already the man is in custody. Calls for celebration. I want to reiterate, I want to further highlight that the downtown mall continues and will be safe for all those in the community. The events from a handful of weekends ago, the OK Corral in the Omni parking lot at 5 o'clock in daylight hours. The teenagers that did the shooting are under arrest. They're currently in detention. And now the man who murdered another person is in custody. These, we hope, we cross our fingers, are isolated events. We certainly speculate and believe and frankly have good intel that they are gang related. Still, the boys and men and women in blue have done a job well done of cracking case, tracking people, and getting people in iron bracelets. I also want to highlight a firsthand experience that my wife and I and our son had on Saturday, trick-or-treating up and down the downtown mall from the Sprint Pavilion to the Omni and back. It was safe and it was full of positive energy, and I hope now as a community we could potentially put behind these negative headlines. Let me be very straightforward, these negative headlines. I want to get Judah Wickower into the mix. Philip Dow, amen. Scott Aaronworth, thank you for liking and sharing the show. We'll go to a two-shot with Judah Wickower so he can offer some perspective on this. I know you, as well as I, follow this closely. Frankly, you spend somewhere between 40 and 45 hours a week in downtown Charlottesville. I'm somewhere in the vicinity of, 60 to 75 hours a week in downtown Charlottesville. I know you are as pleased as I am with the arrest that was made in Tennessee, Alfred.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the big takeaway is that this was obviously a one-off event. We don't have people running around with guns in the downtown mall taking people out, and I am extremely happy that the law is doing its job and catching the people that do this kind of stuff.
Another reason to give props to the Charlottesville Police Department, I believe. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I certainly believe it's another reason to give them props.
Definitely.
Scott Aaronworth says you're styling and profiling as Alfred. Can you turn your head to the side so we can see the ponytail Alfred? Look at that.
Not really much to see in the
I think
shadows.
it looks fantastic. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. How about a word of positivity and praise for downtown Charlottesville, Alfred?
I think downtown Charlottesville is a fun place to be. It's continuing to grow and expand. Obviously, we're figuring out what to do with bathrooms because it's definitely something that's needed on the downtown mall. And, I think we will all continue to have a good time in the downtown mall, especially knowing that, that stuff like this, stuff like what happened at Lucky Blues is the outlier and not the standard.
I will also say this, as you go to a one-shot and get a little branding, let me know when you're on a one and get a little branding behind you if you could, sir, and slide that over. I'd like to highlight this on Saturday and throughout the entire weekend. I saw multiple police officers walking up and down the mall, patrolling the beat throughout the entire weekend. The presence was felt from the CPD on the downtown mall, patrolling the beat. I was impressed with the presence, okay? My wife said multiple times, the bedrock of our family, that she felt safe in downtown Charlottesville over the weekend. I want to highlight the positive. Now, a new topic I'd like to get to. We'll get to the school board topic, but I see multiple folks are asking about the Little Star closing. And Judah, we can go to a two-shot and get you on camera. Little Star, the sister restaurant of Oak Heart Social, surprised many in the community with this announcement yesterday on their Facebook page. Hi, friends. Let me put on my faux leather Robin gloves that frankly offer very little grip. I don't see how Robin, the boy wonder, is fighting crime wearing these faux leather gloves or this mask, where I legitimately cannot see anywhere near in front of me. Good Lord, how do I put these damn gloves on? What glove goes on what hand? It's the pinky is on my thumb. Oh, God. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to read the announcement from Little Star's Facebook page. Hold on. What is it? Hi, friends. It breaks our heart to announce that the next Saturday, November 5th, Man, that's this Saturday.
Yeah.
Will be our last night of service. We are so proud of our staff and everything they have helped us create here. Words cannot describe how grateful we feel to this town for supporting us these 4 wonderful years. Your faces have been a joy to see time and time again. We look forward to the upcoming week and hopes to share our hospitality with you one last time. From the bottom of our hearts, Little Star will miss you. Disappointing, devastating, disheartening news from Little Star, a small plates restaurant on West Main Street. Little Star, the sister restaurant of Oak Heart Social. Scott Aaronworth tells us, ooey gooey grilled cheese. Good Lord, did that close as well, Scotty? I wasn't sure what your text message was over the weekend. Judah, can you look up, or excuse me, Alfred, can you look up ooey gooey grilled cheese? Ooey gooey crispy. I'm going to their Facebook page right now. Where was that announcement made, Scott Aaronworth? Was it made on their Instagram? Please let us know, Scotty Aaronworth. Was it made on their Instagram? Ooey. O-O-E-Y. Ooey gooey crispy. Thank you. No. Dang. On their Scott Aaronworth, the biggest foodie in Charlottesville, may be an Esquire from Virginia Beach, and he's helping us relay news to you literally right now. Ooey gooey crispy. You give us the who, what, when, where, why of ooey gooey crispy after I read the announcement, Alfred, okay? You go to ooey gooey crispy, you give us the who, what, when, where, why, the location, the team, anything you can from the business, the locally owned company, the locally owned brand. A business that specialized in grilled cheese sandwiches. Ooey gooey crispy has this on Instagram. Thank you, Scotty. He says, ooey gooey crispy says, we want to sincerely express our gratitude. God, I can't read anything.
Want me to read it?
Do you have it on Instagram?
Yep.
Can you see?
I can see.
I can't see. All right, please read it.
All right.
How am I supposed to?
We
how
want
am
to
I supposed to fight crime? Go ahead.
Turn it a little to the side.
I have it to the side. Go ahead.
We want to sincerely express our gratitude for so many people who helped us so much. Our neighbors, our community, our purveyors, our Kickstarter supporters, our friends, our families, and our team. Seriously, we have the best team. Nicole, Daniel, Grady, and Max. And don't forget about Olivia, Ty, and our starting crew with Larry, Owen, Lorena, and Abby. We're proud of much of what we've done together, y'all. We'll be open through dinner today and tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, 11 to 9. No more late night on the downtown mall. Saturday, we also have a buy one, get one half off dealie for all burgers and sandwiches, so bring a friend to enjoy the lovely weather. We'll also have the fridge stocked with our cheeses, butters, and spreads that you can take home. Come say goodbye before we close the doors for the last time.
God, I mean, kicking the nuts, right? Saturday, this past Saturday, their last day. This is why I love this show. Crowdsourced content. Scott Aaronworth shares this with us. Janice Boyce Trevelyan also shares this with us. Saturday was their last day. They were in operation for a New York minute.
Yeah.
I mean, literally like a cup of coffee, right? Ooey gooey crispy closes, and Alfred, this is so confusing. Little Star is closing on Saturday, November 5th is their last night of service. I mean, multiple people are asking this question, what is going on with these closings? I won't say who, but you know who, you're watching the program right now, sent me this message this morning. And the message sent this morning was, Jerry, it is starting to happen. I wonder if the EIDL loans, these are the loans that were picked up during COVID, the EIDL loans or other debts are causing all these closings. I think only the businesses that will survive may be the businesses that own their real estate. It's super sad. Yeah. So look, I'll cut to the chase. And I got to choose my words carefully here. There's a lot of floating debt on the street of Charlottesville, Virginia, and Albemarle County in Central Virginia right now. And here's the definition of floating debt. Debt that was accrued during hardship, or debt that was accrued as a strategy for expansion or opening. But that debt has an interest rate that is not locked in. And as the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, the debt these small businesses have in our community are floating or increasing upward. So as small business owners built business models, they built these models for a certain monthly debt service payment. And today, because Jay Powell and the Federal Reserve are trying to get inflation in check, their only strategy or the only methodology they have to put inflation in check is to raise rates. And the collateral damage of increased rates is small businesses in our home in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Small businesses that I love to support, my family loves to support, the small businesses that we literally serve through this advertising agency behind us. VMV Brands is how we make our living. We're most known for the I Love Seville network. It drives revenue. It's a great business for us, but it's not a top 3 generator. It's in the top 5, but it's not top 3. The branding business, VMV Brands, which we do with businesses up and down the East Coast, is one of our key revenue generators. We work with small businesses, and these small businesses, an advertising agency like mine, is essentially the confessional for small businesses, okay? We have business owners at our office in downtown Charlottesville, literally explaining to us the good and the bad and the ugly of being in business. And if you watch this program, one of the reasons that we get so much intel, whether it's schools or school board, whether it's real estate or development or small business, is because me and Judah are literally safeties. We're like vaults when it comes to knowledge. We don't breach trust. We maintain anonymity. We keep people's personal information on the DL unless they tell us, Jerry, use your platform and get this out there for us, please. So we hear from these business owners, these friends and these clients, some of them who have been clients of ours from the beginning. And the advertising agency has been in operation for nearly 15 years. Nearly 15 years, okay? And we have clients that have been on our roster for nearly the entire time. Judah, you know this. You know the ones that have been on our roster for nearly the entire time. We don't need to let them know which ones they are, but you've seen them. You've worked alongside these brands. And they sit here and they tell us it is getting really difficult out here for us just to make our debt service payments. And eventually, as a business owner, you got to ask yourself, is it worth it to continue? Is it worth it to continue and to move forward? And we have seen now Little Star. We have seen now Ooey Gooey Crisp. And unfortunately, more are coming. Before you choose to close your doors, I respectfully encourage you to reach out to me and allow us an opportunity to try to sell your business for you. We sold Moe's Barbecue on Ivy Road. We sold the Package Depot and the Ivy Square Shopping Center. We have other active listings like the One Bridal Salon, like the Hive, and like Great Harvest Bread Company. Before you choose to call it completely quits, put a plan in place with the professional. It's very similar to getting behind on your mortgage. Guys, banks are not messing around. Banks will repossess your house. And before you get 30 days past due on your mortgage, contact a realtor or a professional and have that professional help you list your home. It's still a seller's market. The inventory is so low that your home could sell quickly. Doing nothing and quitting is not a plan. Turning off the lights, and I'm not throwing shade at anyone that has done this. Please don't think I'm throwing shade at anyone who has done this. But turning off the lights and hanging a close sign in the door, there are other paths of attack before this strategy. And there's still buyers out there for businesses. Will it be the price you want? Probably not. But something is better than nothing. And here's the question I really have. This is the question I really have, okay? And this hits close to home. I'm a son of small business owners. I'm a small business owner myself. My kid, my wife, Alfred, their livelihoods and the food they put on their table are directly determined by the decisions we make, by what I make. It's a lot of effing pressure. When you close your business, you're often still on the hook for the rent. And when you close your business, if you accrued debt service, you're likely on the hook for the debt service. Often the floating debt is collateralized. And if that floating debt is collateralized by your home, the actual house you live in, I pray for you. And I'll be very straightforward. There's more coming. There's more coming. Oh. There's more coming. There's more coming, and it's the brands and businesses that we love that are here in Charlottesville and Albemarle. And I'm not going to be the one that releases that information. But it's coming soon. Thank you, Lisa Costello. Ooey Gooey Crisp. I mean, how long were they open? Scott, how long were they open? Janice Boyce Trevelyan, how long were they open? Judah, can you do a quick Google search? I think there was an article written about Ooey Gooey Crisp. Please let us know. Let's see if I can find it. Oh. I mean, has it been a year? I think it's been a year, right? They opened in the Code building. I love the Code building. I love the owner of the Code building.
Article from
9 months, Scott Aaronworth says.
Scott
would know.
I've got an article from December 21st, 2021 saying that they're getting ready to open their doors.
He says 9 months. Scott would know. And he's speaking with confidence and conviction. I swear, the biggest foodie in Charlottesville is an Esquire in Virginia Beach. 9 months. Catherine, there is sound. Other people are watching and listening and commenting. Oh. I thought they would crush it. It's a late night food offering on the downtown mall on the busy and hopping side of the mall.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judy McMullen. I appreciate you sharing that link. Scott says they were not open on February 12th when I was in Charlottesville for my birthday. All right. And as far as Little Star goes, Little Star was doing elevated food. Small plates, elevated. Was it a little expensive? Yes. But let's cut to the chase. Dining out anywhere, not just Charlottesville, is expensive. My son and I and my wife, here's a perfect example. On Sunday morning, we were in a hurry and had limited time. And Judah, Alfred, we got a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit meal, an egg McMuffin meal, and a sausage biscuit meal because we had limited time and had to eat in the car. So we said, we'll go through the Golden Arches on Pantops. 3 breakfast meals from McDonald's was $21. 3. That's not cheap. And McDonald's has the economies of scale, the vertical integration, and the built-in efficiencies of many units across the globe to drive down the cost of goods. They also have technology like mobile apps, drive-thrus, and ordering kiosks to keep labor overhead down.
Yep.
And still it was $21, 21 and change for 2 adults and a 4.5-year-old to eat. Everything is expensive.
Yep.
If we want to see locally owned businesses survive, we're going to have to open our wallets and support them. Because locally owned businesses do not have technology and ordering kiosks and mobile apps and drive-thrus to help offset labor shortages or ridiculously expensive labor. And I'm here to tell you, to prepare you, to give you a heads up, to let you know that more closings are coming. More are coming. Oh. Thank you, Scott, for sharing this with us. I want to talk school board real quick. Thank you, Scott. I got those photos. I appreciate that, Scotty Aaronworth. You made the show better, Scott. School board real quick. David Oberg resigned. School board member. Are you everything good with the audio over there? You're listening to it?
Yeah.
Okay. Catherine's saying it's not. Everyone else seems to have no issues with it. Oberg is a Whitehall District representative. There's 7 spots on the school board. 1 is now open. I've never seen the value of a school board more important than it is right now. And here in very short form, thank you, Melissa Denham, for saying the audio is good. I appreciate that, Melissa. I've never seen the value of a school board being more important than it is literally right now. I mean, you can make a legitimate argument, very applicable and fair argument, that the value of a school board was as important as it is today as it was during, say, segregation and integration. And folks are like, hey, slow down, Jerry. What do you mean? What's going on? How are you comparing it to segregation and integration? Look, times are completely different. But equally as important. And equally as divisive. Kids are going to school an hour, 2 hours late because of school bus driver issues. Teachers are quitting at an aggressive clip. Fighting is happening at a very concerning frequency. We still have little clarity with the Albemarle Junior Varsity hazing, sexual assault, alleged sexual assault. Heard nothing from anyone. We've heard through the grapevine students have been suspended, perhaps expelled. We have the Crozet Gazette article that depicted straight up brawling and violence and students afraid to use bathrooms in high schools because of the Wild West nature of these bathrooms. We have educational performance associated with standards of learning tests that are very egregious. In particular, the performance with black and brown students when it comes to math, reading, science. I have seen, as our son has approached kindergarten age, tremendous red flags with our local public schools. The transportation issue, I've said multiple times on this program, what are the three main roles of a public school? In my eyes, the first rule of any public school is to get children to school on time and safely. The second role is to educate those students in an equitable setting. And the third most important role of a public school is to get students home on time and safely. I can make a legitimate argument on this talk show that all three are being done quite poorly today. I've learned the older that I've gotten, and as I've gone from a single man to a married man to a parent, a father, and soon a father of two, our second son is due Thanksgiving Day, that elections on the local level are as important as any. And this open seat that's on the Albemarle County School Board, David Oberg has resigned. I've been in correspondence with former school board member Oberg. He has said he is willing to come on the I Love Seville show. He has resigned for personal reasons. He's taking care of some family things. And then when he returns from taking care of these family things, he has indicated he's going to come on this talk show and talk schools with us and the community. Here are some questions that I have for the Albemarle County School Board. It's 7 people when they are in totality. There are 6 currently on the board. Question number 1. Albemarle County School Board. When you look at the applications that come in for the Whitehall District, are you only going to handpick someone that meets your political agenda or political ideology? Or are you willing to consider an individual, a person, a man or woman that is different in thought, perspective, and approach than the current all 6 Democrats that sit on the board. It would be a show of good faith to our community if you consider someone of a different political perspective than yours. Because when you have a board that is all 7 people of the same ideology and thought process, you have what the public perceives to be backroom dealing, collusion, or an unwelcoming dais. I also think it's important to be challenged. When I am in professional settings, I am not surrounded by yes people. Put Judah back on the screen if you can. Alfred, can you get Judah back on screen, Alfred? Anybody who watches this show would say this man is the furthest thing from a yes person. 95% of the stuff I talk about on this show, he contradicts. Okay? My wife is not a yes person. The people we do business with are not yes people. When you surround yourself with people that challenge your thought, like this very smart man we call Alfred today, your business does well, and you grow in your capacity of thinking and being open-minded. Do I expect a lot of applicants for this open position? No. Do I expect Steve Harvey to apply for this position? I would think, Steve, if you're watching this program, you should listen to this, okay? Someone tag Steve Harvey. Someone tag Steve Harvey. Someone get Steve to listen to the show right now. Oh, wait a second. Steve, you have a tremendous opportunity. Apply for this position. Worst case scenario, you do not get the position. And if you do not get the position, it has nothing to do with you personally. It has everything to do with 6 people on the board who do not put you on the board because your politics are different than theirs. That is no fault of your own. If you do have an opportunity to be picked and are selected for this seat, you have an entire year, January 1 until December 31 of next year, to get your feet wet for the board, to learn the nuances of school board, and to get your name in the news cycle. Brand awareness is paramount for winning elections, especially in off years. Next year, there's no governor's race, there's no congressional race. There are 3 seats opening up on the Board of Supervisors. Those 3 seats are the Ravenna District, the Whitehall District, and the Scottsville District. There are 4 seats opening up on the school board. Those 4 seats are the general elected school board spot, the Whitehall District, the Ravenna District, and the Scottsville District. The at-large seat is the general elected spot. 3 spots of Board of Supervisors next year, 4 on the school board next year. There's going to be 7 races that now matter in Albemarle County in 2023. 7. 3 on Board of Supervisors, 4 on school board. Steve makes no secret of this. He is a Republican. In fact, I would say Steve is a chest-pounding Republican. Albemarle County is historically very blue, Democrat, and not red, Republican. However, over the last few years, we started seeing this with the Glenn Youngkin race. Albemarle County has gotten less blue and is more purple now. viewers and listeners who are watching this program, the expectation for midterms, which are now eight days away from midterms. A lot of folks are seeing a red wave coming. This isn't me predicting this. This is people in the prognostication business, professionals predicting a red wave. For so long, and I'm talking years, if not decades, the R word was almost a profanity around Albemarle County. Who can name the last Republican to serve on the Board of Supervisors? Anyone. Put it in the feed. Put it in the feed. Name the last Republican to serve on the Board of Supervisors. Anyone. Put it in the feed. Paul McCarter, can you name it? Katie Pearl, can you name it? Lisa Costello, can you name it? Philip Dow, can you name it? Judy, can you name it? Scott, anyone? Mr. John Blair, can you name it? I believe the answer is Ken Boyd. We're talking basically 20 years ago. I would encourage Steve to apply for this position. He is no longer running for Board of Supervisors because of professional conflict. I've said it once, I will say it again. If you're working in real estate, you're not going to be able to be on the Board of Supervisors. It is a conflict of interest. You would have to recuse yourself from literally every single meeting, and then putting you into office would be worthless. You couldn't vote on zoning, you couldn't vote on land use, you couldn't vote on special use permits, you couldn't vote on which neighborhoods are going to go where, you couldn't vote on anything. It would be a conflict of interest if you're a realtor and you ran for any kind of Board of Supervisors or City Council. That's why there are no realtors on the Board of Supervisors or City Council. Conflict of interest. However, you can be on school board. And that's why Steve Harvey is making a push for this position. Strategy 101. Put your name on the short list and see what happens. If they say no, it's to no fault of your own. Strategy number 2. If you happen to be picked by the school board to serve on the board, and you're a Republican, Steve is, you have an opportunity for an entire year, January 1 to December 31st, to prove your worth, connect with the community, and connect with voters when your name comes up on the ballot in November of the next year. This is called political science, political strategy, and gamesmanship. Brand awareness is going to be paramount to winning an election next year when there's no congressional race and no governor race to get people out to the polls. It's going to be a very meager turnout next year because there's no congressional race or governor's race. And for those that are on the school board right now, and I'm talking to Graham Page, the chairman, Kata Cuff, Jack Jewett District, Katrina Carlson, Rio District, Judy Lee, Rivanna District, Graham Page, the chair of the Samuel Miller, Alan Osborne from the Scottsville District, and John Arcaro, the at-large representative. I'm mentioning you guys by name. If you guys and gals go about this process of filling this vacant seat by cherry picking or hand picking your homies, your besties, your chums, your pals, your ride or dies, your shotgun seaters, I'm going to call cronyism and BS on you. And I'm going to do it loud and consistent. At a time when schools are at the tip of everyone's tongue, curriculum, transportation, transgender, educational performance, violence, school resource officers. These are topics on the tips of everyone's tongue. School resource officers, transgender, curriculum, educational performance, transportation, brawling and beating and bruising in the hallways. If you guys, school board members, utilize cronyism tactics, that'll be a piss poor look for you in this era of transparency and accountability when there are no secrets. And take it from someone who knows very well that there are no secrets. Personally. You'd be crazy not to apply for this, Steve. And I'll tell you right now, Paul, you're still watching Paul McCarter? Paul McCarter would make a damn good school board member. Paul McCarter would make a fantastic school board member. He's got 2 daughters in the Albemarle County Public Schools. He lives in the south side of Charlottesville. I'm not going to blow up his spot. Neil Williamson. Name a realtor, Neil Williamson, Captain America. Name a realtor, Neil Williamson, who has served on the Board of Supervisors in Albemarle County. Name a realtor that served on the City Council of Charlottesville. Anyone watching this program, who can name a realtor that has served on the Board of Supervisors in Albemarle County? Just give me one. I want one realtor that's been an Albemarle County Board of Supervisors. I want one realtor that's been a city council member in the city of Charlottesville. Just give me one. I just want one. Anyone watching the program, can you name one real estate agent, one realtor that has been on the Board of Supervisors in Albemarle County or the city of Charlottesville? Name one. Put it in the feed and I will relay it live on air. Neil has mentioned, and I love Neil, that Bill Martin served on the Board of Supervisors in Greene County. In Greene County. Name one realtor. One realtor that makes their living selling real estate. That is their job. They sell real estate for a living. You'd have to recuse yourself from every vote that pertains to real estate. I'm curious of how authorities would respond to someone who makes their paycheck from selling real estate serving on a board that determines real estate decisions. How would authority figures respond to that? And Paul makes a good point. Paul McCarter is a realtor, by the way. He makes a good point. He says the lack of real estate. I can't effing read this. The lack of real estate expertise is a reason all their affordable housing ideas do not work. Yeah, 100%, P. 100%. Give them the props. 100%. How are you going to make? Yeah. I want you to remember the name Paul McCarter for school board. I'm happy to, Philip Dow says, you need to get Rob Schilling on your show concerning this topic. I'm happy to host Rob on this show anytime. Word on the street, though, is Rob hosts an AM radio show at the time of our show. When's Rob's show air? Do you know, Judah? I'm not sure when Rob's show is air. I'm not throwing shade on radio. I come from a radio background. My first job out of the University of Virginia was print, radio, and television. Print, radio, and television. I love radio. I love print, and I love television. But the future of print, radio, and television is not super bright. And that's not me throwing shade in any regard. When does his show air? Do you know? Carol, when does his show air?
I'm seeing WINA showing it as
Is it 2 to 3?
noon to 1 p.m.
12 to 1? So it's airing right now? No, it's airing it's 12 to 1?
Yeah. That's what it says.
What's on after 1? I thought he was 2 hours. That show was 1 hour? I thought the Schilling show was 2 hours. That's a travesty if they cut that man's show. Are you sure?
I'm also seeing the SchillingShow.com bio says it goes from weekdays from noon to 2 p.m. So
multiple people are saying it's 12 to 1 p.m. and they cut the man down. They cut the time slot down.
Yeah, that could be.
Is that what happened, Carol Thorpe? They cut his slot noon to 1 Monday to Friday. Did they cut his time? Wasn't he longer than 1 hour, CT, Queen of Jack Jewett? Multiple people are saying 12 to 1. Wasn't he longer than that?
I just told you that his website says 12 to 2, so I'm guessing he did get cut down at some point.
Spencer says he got cut. He's 1 hour only. And as you've highlighted in past shows, that 1 hour is pretty much like 38 or 40 minutes of content when you include commercial breaks. Spencer, thank you. Carol Thorpe says it was 2 hours for years, then got cut back for station costs. Thank you, Carol Thorpe. This is the problem. Here's the problem. Rob Schilling has a lot of great things to say. I mean, is he a polarizing individual? Sure. But when you give your opinion in a very public setting, you're going to polarize some people. That's the nature of giving your opinion. That's the nature of giving your opinion. Here's the other tough aspect of giving your opinion on AM radio in a 1 hour block. The reality is you're giving your opinion for about 38 or 39 minutes with commercial time. And then the other reality is all these cars that are being put in the market, these vehicles that are being put in the market today are getting put in the market with Bluetooth and streaming. Right? What do you listen to when you're in your car?
I've got a thumb drive with all my music on it, and that's usually what I'm listening to. I
literally listen to CNBC, what's on the television station, in my Explorer.
I can't say I'm surprised.
I can literally stream CNBC in my Explorer. That's what I listen to. The technology that is being birthed in automobiles today puts tailwinds or momentum behind the content we're creating, where you can stream it anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
And it puts headwinds or the opposite of momentum. What is the opposite of momentum?
Yeah, headwinds.
Headwinds.
You don't want to fly into a headwind because it slows you down.
It puts headwinds in front of traditional media,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Unless you've got some way to get Xfinity in your minivan or SUV.
And Paul says this. Paul says, I definitely would not fit the desire to have a Republican on the school board. And I'm not saying that, Paul. And I'm not labeling you as an R or as a D. And we learned from Ned Galloway this morning, Kevin Yancey says you need an ascot.
No swearing on the show. I'm joking.
Ascot?
I'm joking.
Oh.
Anyways, yes.
Alfred had an ascot.
Yeah. Just never had one in my my wardrobe.
In your repertoire?
Yeah.
Paul, I'm not labeling you as an R or as a D. And I learned today from Ned Galloway on Real Talk with Keith Smith. Real Talk with Keith Smith. Ned Galloway watched the show from most of the show. He's an Albemarle County supervisor. He's watching the show. Supervisor Galloway, are you watching right now? Please let us know if you're watching right now. I saw you watching this morning. He says the school board runs independent to party affiliation. When you're running for school board, you run independent of party affiliation. I mean, this is a comment from Jonathan, who lives in Albemarle County. Jerry, you're absolutely right. If a realtor ran for board of supervisors, I would question every professional decision that man or woman made because of what do they do as a 9 to 5. Of course you would. How can you sell real estate and make land use decisions? Whole community would question everything you did. Before I get to the UVA topic, I want to add this. Can't see it. You can make a very legitimate argument that the most important elected body is a school board right now. You can make a very legitimate argument that schools and education put Glenn Youngkin in the governor's mansion. You disagree?
No.
Would you say that Youngkin won on schools and on McAuliffe's stupidity when it came to schools?
Yeah, most likely.
Is that fair? I mean, you always call me out on hyperbole.
No, I think that sounds fair. I think he was. I think he was. They just didn't think that he had the clout to take it, and they underestimated him.
When McAuliffe said parents should be involved in their kids' education, McAuliffe lost the election. Then he doubled down and he tripled down with that comment.
Yeah.
Then Terry, you lost the election.
Yeah.
Schools have not are more emphasized now than they were during the Youngkin-McAuliffe campaign, especially around here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, they're going to be the focal point of elections moving into next year as well.
No doubt.
We vote, from what I can tell, this is how voters are voting. They're voting as parents, and they're voting with their pocketbook. And maybe people don't want to hear this, but that's how people vote. As parents and with their pocketbook. And I learned today on Real Talk with Keith Smith, Real Talk with Batman, Real Talk with Captain America, Real Talk with Alfred and Robin, from Supervisor Galloway, who was commenting on the show, that people run for school board unaffiliated with a party, Republican, Democrat. They're all supposed to be independents. But why the current school board has been labeled as Democrats is because of their support of the local party. And I would bet you a couple of smackaroos that if with these 4 spots that are opening for school board, I will bet you no one in the community is going to see these 4 spots as independent. And the 4 spots that are open come 2023 in the school board are undoubtedly going to be branded or labeled or stigmatized or associated with or monikered Republican or Democrat. Because that's the society we live in today. The society we live in today is one of labels. Is it not? The society we live in today is one of labeling. The society we live in today is one of, what are your pronouns? The society we live in today is, how do you identify?
It's not always a bad thing. I think it depends on the context.
The society we live in today is, what's your political party? What's your race? What's your income bracket? Where did you go to college? What'd you do for a living? It's one of labels. Cocktail party. Hey, what do you do for work? Where do you live? It's one of labels. Tom Stargell says Graham Page is openly a Democrat. I mean, it's obvious to anyone who. Thank you, Tom Stargell. The invitation to have you, an accoladed and well-awarded teacher on this program, stands open anytime you want, Tom Stargell. I'm willing to beg to have you, Tom Stargell, on the show. I will beg to have you on the show, sir. An educator of a couple of generations, if not 3 generations. Tom Stargell, 30 years plus in teaching in Albemarle County schools. Is that right, Tom? 30 years plus? I am willing to beg to get you on this show. I've sent many an invitation, beg to get you on the show, Tom. All right. I'm passionate about this stuff. I love this stuff. I follow this stuff. I live and breathe this stuff. I can't wait till November 8th. I can't wait till the midterm election where I'm going to sit in front of my television and watch the election from start to finish. Kevin Yancey, that is beautifully said. Kevin Yancey in Waynesboro says, common sense seems to have been replaced by party line regardless of affiliation. Well said, Kevin Yancey. Well said. So well said. What happened to the Ronald Reagan Republicans and the John F. Kennedy Democrats? What happened to the Ronald Reagan Republican and John F. Kennedy Democrats that were right in the middle of the aisle? Anyone? Is this the collateral damage of social media? Where it just creates a line in the sand and you have to pick what side of the line you're on? It's ironic to say this because this is a talk show that's aired on social media, but is social media arguably one of the most divisive innovations in mankind? You want to go on a 2-shot with that? I'm going to ask a very straightforward question to the viewers and listeners of this fine and fair talk show. Very straightforward question. And it has to be in no particular order. No particular order, okay, Alfred? The most destructive innovations in humanity's history. What are the most destructive innovations? Viewers and listeners, put them in the feed. The most destructive innovations in humanity's history. All right, I'll start. I see the wheels turning over here. Let's start from the beginning. The forbidden fruit, the apple. Adam and Eve and the forbidden fruit. The apple.
Was that an invention, though?
The apple had to be invented and innovated somehow.
Okay.
Maybe you want to choose a different word? Instead of innovation or invention, do you want to say circumstance? Things that happened?
I guess.
Let's start from the beginning. The
You're
forbidden fruit.
Okay.
You disagree?
I think you're getting a little way too far afield.
Why?
Because you're setting the bar so low that we could literally just name off every invention in the history of mankind.
The ones that I was going to rattle off, and viewers and listeners, I'm curious of yours. Okay, you don't want to put the forbidden fruit on there, that's fine. I was going to call it nuclear bombs, nuclear weapons. The ability for a country to drop a bomb on another country that kills hundreds of thousands of people and has a bomb radius that is significant is the definition of destructive and damning.
Yeah.
Okay? I'll put social media in there. Social media might be, and this is coming from someone who makes his living on social media, does a talk show 5 days a week on social media. If utilized for the bad instead of the good, and I truly believe the I Love Seville show utilizes social media for the good, but if utilized for the bad, there is few more divisive and destructive innovations in mankind's history than social media. They've influenced elections, they've divided families, they've been catalysts for wars, they've been the definition of destruction. Social media.
The problem is it anonymizes.
Exactly. Say it again.
It anonymizes everything about you. Even if your name is still attached to your profile picture, like it is on Facebook, and say I guess it doesn't have to be on Instagram, but even so, I think back when we were talking to each other on phones, and that was kind of as far away from someone as you could get and still talk to them, you knew who you were talking on the phone to. But now you can respond to anyone's Facebook post, whoever, it could be some guy in Sri Lanka, it could be a guy in Ukraine, it could be
someone in Greenwood or Crozet.
Yeah. And you have no fear of them ever, well, maybe a little fear, but for the most part, no fear that they're going to come and find you, because you could be across the country.
You have keyboard
and
muscles.
And then you've got
Twitter Charlottesville and Reddit Charlottesville are the definition of keyboard muscles, keyboard jockeys. There is more anonymity on Reddit Charlottesville and Twitter Charlottesville than any other social platform.
Yeah.
Because you have some BS handle with a BS photo.
Yeah.
At least with LinkedIn and Facebook, you have their name and their photo, which creates more accountability. Nuclear bombs, social media. Neil Williamson says this: segmented media channels has us listening to the echo chamber. Social media magnifies that input.
Chamber.
What?
Echo chamber.
That's what I said.
You said eco.
What? Okay. Thank you. Echo. It's my wife over here. Segmented media has us listening to the echo chamber. Social media magnifies that input. We have our own tribe news and our own tribe friends. That's what you're saying. Katie Pearl says, go back to the 2-shot. Don't be sad because I said that. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, and that's why you went to the 1-shot.
My feelings weren't hurt. I just,
I apologize. I'm sorry.
I'm here because you want me here. If you don't want me here, let me know.
I want
I'm not,
you here.
I'm not making any grand statements or anything.
I want you here.
Okay.
I want you here. Do we need to hug it out?
No.
Do you want a chest bump?
No.
Fist bump? High
No.
five? Have some scotch?
That I can go for.
I'm sorry, not being sassy with Alfred. Don't be sassy with Alfred. We love Judah too. Philip Dow says we love Judah. I love him too. 10 years of working alongside each other, 45 hours a week. Some weeks literally spend more time with Judah than I do my wife and kid. It's literally true. And he obviously, look at his face, nodding. Nuclear bombs, social media. I mean, do we throw COVID in there? I mean, it's starting to shape up. There was a Vanity Fair article over the weekend that COVID, pretty definitive, was a man-made blank show.
Really?
Out of a Wuhan lab.
I guess I'm not really surprised.
I mean, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
No.
Please. Now Vanity Fair is reporting about it. Of all publications, Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
You made those comments 2 years ago and people were out to lynch you. Now mainstream media is reporting it. And we find out COVID's man-made. That's got to be on the list, right?
Yeah. If it's true, I'd definitely put it on the list.
I mean, you can make a legitimate argument, and both of us are God-fearing people. You're a God-fearing person. I'm a God-fearing person. I'm a Southern Baptist who went to a Catholic school and grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. I'm a religious mutt. Southern Baptist, educated in a Catholic school, and grew up in a Jewish neighborhood.
How much did that Jewish neighborhood, though, actually influence your...
Tremendous amount. Some of my best friends growing up were Jewish.
Yeah, but how much did that influence your religious beliefs?
It influenced my outlook on life.
Okay.
I mean, you could make a legitimate argument that the religion has been a catalyst for destruction.
Yeah.
As significant a catalyst for destruction as mankind has potentially seen. Can you not?
It's up there.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could make a legitimate argument, I can too, that religion has been so much of a catalyst for destruction that it birthed atomic bombs. Nuclear warfare.
How would you make that connection?
How many wars are associated with religion as a foundation?
I would say quite a few before the 20th century. Less so after.
How would you characterize religion's role in World War II?
In World War II, I'm certainly not an expert, but I wouldn't say that it was high on the list of reasons the war started.
How would you, viewers and listeners, characterize religion in World War II? You know what? We'll just put religion on the list. We're getting into the weeds here. We're both in agreement that religion should be on the list.
Sure.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely...
Been a catalyst for destruction and despair.
Yeah.
And disturbance and divisiveness.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Social media, nuclear warfare. What else? Brian Rutherford says the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put, if we're putting religion on that list, you got to put racism on that list. Or religion and racism umbrellaed by the same, or under the same umbrella.
I would say racism is less a product or a development and more just a
Janice Boyce Trevelyan calls it an intolerance of others' opinions.
what's that?
Essentially religion and racism.
I don't know if racism fits in that terminology, as it has nothing to do with anyone's opinion.
It's intolerance of others.
Yeah.
Kevin Yancey says it certainly was what World War II was about from the German side.
Religion? Really?
And intolerance of others. Did you study? You were in history class?
I did take history. I don't remember World War II having a whole lot to do with religion.
An intolerance of others.
The actual war, though, was...
That was the essence of a Nazi, of Hitler. He wanted the world shaped in a certain look.
Okay.
She also says you're a modern Alfred.
Yeah. Well, I think last year
That's quite the compliment.
I don't know if it was last year or the year before. One year I shaved the beard off and had the whole getup, black jacket, white shirt, fake bow tie, nice dress shoes, and it was pouring rain when I parked. Half mile or more from the office.
Kevin says, Judah, the attempt to wipe out an entire religion, the Nazis, the genocide of the Jewish religion. That's what World War II was about. And he also said you were clean-shaven, Alfred, then, so he remembers that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really think that's what the war was about. The Holocaust was a byproduct of the war, but I don't think the main goal was the Holocaust. I'm not a history expert, though, so somebody can correct me. I believe it had to do with a lot of different things. I think it was partially about the fallout from World War I. Germany was battered, not just by the end of that war, but by the economic sanctions that were placed against it. And in between the first and second, they had, because of those sanctions, fallen very far, and they were at a point where I think people were just ready to fight back, and Hitler lit the fire under them, really got that whole nationalism thing going, and took them to war. They wanted land and a lot of other stuff, and I think the Holocaust was more a byproduct than the main focus.
I don't want to get too much into the weeds on this, and obviously the feed is torn on this. We got folks offering perspective on either side of World War II. the more concise, the more what we're talking here, though, we don't have to get too much into the weeds. I know after 10 years of spending time with you here, I know what you're doing right now.
What?
You're about to do a deep dive on what you just talked about here.
No, I'm not.
I'm
ready to give it up. You're the one that's in the weeds.
No, I'm not in the
I'm
weeds.
just responding to questions.
Okay, all right. The whole comment was a short list of the most destructive and divisive innovations or circumstances or happenings of mankind. And on that short list, we've put social media, we've put religion, right? We've put the forbidden fruit, although that is getting a little metaphorical.
And yeah, I think it's way out of the scope.
Okay, it could be. I'll give you that it's out of scope. We'll agree. We'll agree on that one. But I guess the essence of what we're talking about is on this very short list of nuclear warfare and the divisive nature of religion is social media. Like, have we thought of other things?
I mean, there are a lot of things.
I mean, we have COVID on there. We're comparing social media with COVID, nuclear warfare, and religion. Think about that.
I mean, you can. First of all,
people are saying processed foods.
Processed foods. I think the problem is I think that we need to refine what we're trying to get at, and
what are you saying? Does it need to be more tangible? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying you could literally pick just about anything: guns, knives, cars. I mean, cars have been used to murder people. Humanity will find a way to turn just about anything into a weapon or of something that you can use to destroy. That doesn't mean that we all will use it in that way. In fact, a lot of the things that we've created for war are meant as protections. The atomic bomb.
100%.
We didn't want to drop it. Nobody wants to drop it. But it was a deterrent.
Well, then if you're saying guns and knives shouldn't be on the list, then nuclear bombs should be taken off it.
No, I'm saying guns and knives would be on the list. If we're just talking about things that humanity has created that have been used destructively, you can literally put almost anything on there. Poison. How many different poisons have we created? DDT. There was a scare in the...
Remember the powder?
Anthrax?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mailing it to people, got on their skin. Remember that? How terrifying that was?
Yeah.
I mean, certainly, as many people have put in the feed, 9/11 was influenced by religion. Osama bin Laden influenced by religion.
Yeah. Agent Orange. Now, there's a terrifying one.
I guess we'll close with this because it's
any
2:01
and I kind of biological agent. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's 2:01 and I have an important 2:30. I'm actually going to show up in this 2:30 meeting in the Robin outfit. The individual I'm meeting with at 2:30 is a call a heavy hitter locally. And this heavy hitter locally has no idea that I'm going to show up in a Robin outfit with mask included and pleather gloves on. I'm going to put my pleather gloves on so I don't forget. We'll close with this. We've spent 90 minutes talking about Charlottesville, Central Virginia, the school board, the murderer who was captured in Tennessee. We didn't get the Virginia football team. The Virginia football team, I hate to say this, has become so inconsequential and so much of an afterthought that it's not even registering in my headlines anymore. And this is coming from someone who's a diehard Virginia football fan, someone who started as an employee of ESPN Radio and working in sports at the Daily Progress and NBC 29 and Monticello Media. The word apathy best describes the Virginia fan base when it comes to football. And apathy is a scary, scary emotion because anger and happiness elicits engagement. Anger and frustration and happiness and bliss, they get the populace doing things. Apathy means the populace doesn't even give a rat's ass about you. And that's essentially where we are right now with football at Scott Stadium. That's demoralizing. We'll continue much of today's show with Alfred tomorrow. And we'll talk some of these businesses that have closed tomorrow. And we'll see if we can get some feedback from Steve Harvey before tomorrow's show. Judah, Alfred, can we go to the studio camera? Is that studio camera on? Are we on the studio camera?
Yep, you're on the studio camera now. Okay. Thank you. Not sure why we went to the studio camera for that, but
Should we not have gone to the studio camera? Would it have been better on the one shot?
sure. There we go. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anything you want to close with? I thought you did a heck of a job today.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to close with straighten that damn mask out.
What's that?
Straighten that
It
mask.
is straight.
No, it's not.
It looks straight. All right, that's the show. Thank you for joining us. Take care. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.